ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੈਸਟ ਲਈ ਆਇਆ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 15-20 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਨਾਲੇ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜੇ ਆ। ਇਹ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕੈਂਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕੈਂਪ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਯਾਤਰਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਲਿਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਕਈ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਪ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 10 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਆ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਨੂੰ। This show will predominantly be in English, so I'm going to introduce who's here with me today. So you've got Bhai Bhavinder Singh, also known as Bhav.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
And you've got Bhai Harirai Singh here on my right.
ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
So to just start off, so the topic of today's show is a camp that they're arranging this year, which is from May, so towards the end of May, which is 28th of May to the 1st of June. But before we kind of speak about that camp, I just want to know a bit about themselves in terms of what brought them into Sikhi, or what brought them into towards Prachar, and what Prachar they've been doing over the last several years, or even before Seek to Inspire started. So the eldest out of you two, who is it? Is that Hawaii, or is it?
It's Bhav by a few months.
Or is it the evergreen black-beard Bhav?
I'm probably one of the oldest, huh? But I think the last over maybe 20 years now,
Right.
we've been doing seva. So started when I was at university, so half of my life really. So work out how old I might be. But yeah, starting off university, it's just when we're at university, you have that transition, and where you're changing surroundings, people that you network with, people that you meet daily, and I think that was a big changing point in my life, and really got into Sikhi, signing Sangat, then finding Gurmukhs, apne Siane, older Singhs and Sangat to learn from. So over so many years, helping at camps, helping out with tours, going to the Godara, getting involved in Seva, just kind of came naturally. As a Sikh, we're always taught that we're learning ourselves, but what we learn we should always teach others or spread. So I think for the Sikh it should be natural to do prachar of what you love and what you live daily. So I think over the last 20 years we've really been involved in just helping ourselves, making our jivan stronger, but helping others to join that journey that I'm having. Hopefully the other people can actually take part in that journey, get involved in that journey, and making our Sangat wider.
So would you say, so in terms of, you've told us the Bhav story as such, so was you, from a young age, was you always Amritari or into Sikhi, or did you go through this transition of going through camps?
So the transition you're talking about is finding the Sangat, and luckily I kind of wandered into Sangat.
Right.
But the Sangat, I got so much pyar from the Sangat that I attached myself there. So I think I was later on, probably about 4 or 5 years later, started keeping my gaze when I found this Sangat. But slowly down the steps I took me towards Guruji, took me towards taking Amrit. So I think when I left university, I took Amrit. And that just adds on to the journey. That's like people say, your step towards Guruji, we should never see that as a final step. You could say, when I took Amrit, my journey ended and a new one started. So it was basically that's where my journey in Sikhi started.
So you would now say that you're in a position in terms of carrying on with your journey, but also helping others find their journey or being a part of that journey. So Bhai Harirai Singh ji, I mean, tell me a little bit about yourself. So where did this start from for you?
I think for me it was different in the sense that I'd always had my gaze from a young age, and my father passed away when I was young, and but he started the Guru Nanak Gurdwara in Holy Bones. He started that Gurdwara, and he helped actually with Guru Nanak Gurdwara Smadik. I found out about these things afterwards. He passed away when I was young, but with our kind of Sangat from back in India as well, with Mahaprabhu Chandi Sangat, Jathedar Baba Nihal Singh, Hariya Billawale, this kind of Sikhi foundation was in our family. And so my mum, when we moved down to London, because I'm originally from up north, which I keep quiet normally, Sikhi was part of what we did, and as when we moved down, I joined Sahib Baba Ajit Singh Akhada, which was started by Gyani Pritam Singh,
And
Lakhari of Damdami Taksal, student of Sant Gurbachan Singh. And for me, I think one of the most important things was, as I've got older now, is that Maharaj Sikhi gave me so much. And if I don't give back, I feel basically like, almost it's kind of like being a loon harami, for want of a better word.
No.
And like Bhavinder Singh was saying, and Sant Kartar Singh Ji says it, if you're not doing prachar with your life, what are you doing? And so I was blessed to have Sangat of older Singhs and Sangat of Mahapurush, and going to Gurdwara down in Southall, doing seva. It was important that what I gained, I then passed
wanted to
on.
pass that on. Yeah, so I mean, we could say that there's an authentic journey in terms of having Sangat of Gurmukhs, Gursikhs, obviously with Jathedar Baba Nihal Singh Ji, and with Bhavi, knowing Bhavi for many years. I mean, I was a trustee of this organisation as well a long time ago, so I know all the brilliant and excellent work that you do, and how many children and adults you've kind of inspired on their journey. So now, I think at this stage, I would want to speak about S2I as an organisation. So I mean, what was the vision? And then let's go into the camp a little bit as well. That how did the camp come across? And how many people have you helped? I mean, I want to know some before and after,
Sure.
some inspirational stories from this camp that you do.
So Seek to Inspire started back in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole aspect of it was that if we look back at our history, how Jathe used to go bend to bend, going space, areas to area, doing prachar, going there, doing prachar, doing katha, doing kirtan, and joining people with Gursikhi, for Amrit Sanchar Karone. And I thought, how can we adapt that into this, into society here? Because all of us were doing 9 to 5 jobs, we're only free on a weekend, and 95% of Sikhs in this country probably only go to the Gurdwara on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, yeah.
And then
right,
what we
yeah.
used to call back in the day was Sunday Sikhs. I think that kind of trends kind of change with certain generations now, because of some of the TV channels showing that PR, showing what happens at different Gurdwara. And people do go daily, we see that, and a lot of Gurdwara just down the road, Guru Nanak Gurdwara Smadhi, we have Sangat going in and out. But I think back then what we noticed was there's only Sikhs going to the Gurdwara on a Sunday. Matha take, and it's a good routine. We're programmed in. Matha teko, prashad leo, langar khao,
And that's it, off
chali.
you go back home, right?
Go back home. And I think we did that as well. When we were younger, we did that as well, Hannah. And we said, how can we then, if the Sikhs are only going to, or the Sangats are only going to the Gurdwara that day, and that's all they're doing, how can we engage them and break down those educational barriers, the learning barriers? A lot of you Sikhs, as well, within the team, quite educated, work in education. So using those skills to pull the Sangat, teaching something, so the Sangat come to the Gurdwara and take something away. So that's how it started. From there, when we did our tours around the country, there was Sangat saying, so where are we going to, is there somewhere we can push the Sangat to? And that's where the idea from the camp came. So if we did after all the tours, at the end of the year, we do one program where all the Sangat come, the camp, they're broken away from society, broken away from everything that distracts them, sit there for 5 days and just have what they saw, that experience for that 1 hour, hour and a half at the Gurdwara, they could experience for 5 days. So that's what it came from.
Yeah, I mean, so historically speaking, so just giving some more context of what these great guys kind of, and the team, the wider team have done. So throughout the years, so the camp is what we're speaking about today, predominantly are going to be speaking about that, but separate to that, they were, if you want to use the term, the founders of the Simran Job in England. So the 40-day Simran Job, it was part of this team alongside Smadhi Gurdwara, Westram, Guru Harai Sahib Gurdwara, that started that job, which used to be from January to February. And
I
also,
I think the great thing with you know yourself, the team that we had, simple ideas turned into something of kirpa.
Simple ideas turned into big projects.
Big projects, not something that we would never imagine. And that shows that Maharaj apni Gursikha di ardasa sunda. If we try to, we're doing something not as selfish, we're trying to do this for the Sangat.
Yeah.
And I think Maharaj, along the way, when we have icha of doing something which is to help someone, Maharaj will see that flourish.
Yeah, they
And he
supported.
has,
No,
and
no.
always
I was
flourished.
witness to that on several occasions. I mean, so separate to the Simran jobs, the massive Pindra Wali Jor Mela, so the Sant Piani Kartar Singh Khalsa Pindra Wali Barsi, which was and is one of the biggest events in the West Midlands. So I mean, every Sikh to inspire the Kailu Akadenia to the local community here in England and the West Midlands especially. But back to the camp horizon now. So tell me a bit about the camp. So in terms of what would day one typically be? So let's say I'm a new camper. I've heard about your camp. Is it male predominantly? Is it just for Amritaris? Or I mean, what are the demographics?
I think I'm going to jump back just a little bit before the days weapons, and just kind of go on from what Bob was saying as well. When we've all been to camps, all of us, when we were younger, we attended camps, and took a lot out of them, and that's why but we are sitting where we are today. And as when we started the Seva, we Seek to Inspire, on the camps, what happened was that as we grew up, our families grew as well. And one thing that's changed, especially over I know for me, 9 years, is that after we got married and we had our first child, they've been coming camp, they've come to camp, and this journey in Sikhi isn't just, as much as it is about the individual, when you're at home, it's about your family as well.
Yeah.
And it was important for us to not say to our families, okay, thanks, we're going off to camp now.
That's it.
You sit at home, and we're going to go and but you lot, stay here. So our families will be coming in, and that has happened more and more over the last few years. And I think it's important. I mean, you asked earlier before about some stories. I'm going to give one. I've got two, but one is my oldest, Gurmukh Singh. He's 9 now, but about 5 years ago, we're at camp. So as you know, Maharaj has their Sachkhand, and when they're coming from Sachkhand to Darbar, there's a route, and you'll see it in the trailers videos, as well. And I don't want to say this doesn't sound, it's not going to come out the way it's meant to be, but I couldn't see Gurmukh Singh. I don't know where he was. I didn't lose him. But what he had done...
You're not that tall, right? Sorry, that joke was going to come into our
It was. But I couldn't see Gurmukh Singh. And I was looking around. And what he had done, and this is something that we've all done when we were younger, because obviously I'm down from London, you guys are up here in the Midlands, but we all know each other. And we made these connections before all social media. This was done face to face, sitting in Sangat.
They were organic connections, right?
And these were made in Sangat, because these social media connections, it's all well and good, but actually Maharaj stresses the importance of Sangat, sitting in Sangat. And we all did it, and now that's why we all know each other still when we're friends to this day. So anyway, back to Gurmukh Singh, I was looking for him, and what he had done with Akal Singh and a few others, they picked up the broom, got the hose, and they'd seen us doing it a couple of days, and they'd started cleaning the path for Maharaj.
Yeah, so you would say, I mean, in terms of children replicate what they see from their elders or what they see in Sangat, so I mean, that's the major benefit of going to Sangat. So initially a child will walk into the Gurdwara, they'll possibly see someone, doing Jore Adi Seva, how to Matha take, how to take Deg to wash your hands, Langar Di Seva. So from camp, they experience something a bit further than that. So in terms of the broom.
And Aaphathi Seva, and no one told them to. And just seeing that, as a parent, that's what you want from.
Gave you a warming feeling, didn't it?
It did. That's exactly it. So going back onto the age groups and the times, we kind of it was initially aimed at 16-year-olds.
I remember them days. Yeah.
Yeah, 16-year-old and up. And now what we've changed it to is, you can come by yourself if you're 16 plus. Right. Anyone under the age of 16 is allowed to attend, but has to have a parent guardian with them. Has to have them with them so that they can, be safe, and it's not just taking someone out. A typical day, after your first day arrival, because that's the day you're coming, you're getting your camper pack, you're getting your room allocated, and then Maharaj comes to Darbar. So that's and it is a welcome from us, because we're thanking Maharaj for blessing us with their Sangat, because like you were saying, the idea is that you move away from, you know, you're thinking about work, you're thinking about aja karna, oh karna, you step away from all that, everything like that, and you're there in the Sharan of Maharaj, you're there with Sangat, and you're there to hopefully take those steps on in your journey. And so that happens, and then on the first day, Amrit Vela Divans, which
what time does Amrit Vela start for you guys at camp then?
4 a.m.
For you as well?
Not for the
wider
for the
Sangat,
Sangat.
So what happens is, so when we announce Amrit Vela at 4 a.m., we want everybody in the Divan at 4 a.m.
Okay.
What happened the last year was...
Sorry, Bobby. So the reason that I said that, because these guys, so some of the Sevadars, camp doesn't start on, so let's say the 28th. Camp will start a week or 2 weeks before. And for some of these guys, they'll be there a day or 2 days before, and they will not sleep. They'll carry out throughout the night. So that was just my little joke to Harai there, that when does Amrit Vela start for you? Because, well, when does night start even? It just carries through.
With the, if you even notice, and I think there's a video of Guru Kirat Singh, Kota Guru, who came last year, is coming again this year. It's the first time they came, with him and his singing. And they were amazed how many people actually turn up to Amrit Vela. And they said we couldn't even find, one of the days, they couldn't even find somewhere to sit, because everybody had woken, even the kids were there at Amrit Vela at 4 a.m.
Is it compulsory?
Last year we made it compulsory.
And did you see a change from previous years?
But the first 2 days we don't push. We tell people, yeah, 4 baje tu uthna, 4 baje tu Sangat jana. It's amazing.
Simran starts at 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's amazing that some Sangat turned around and said, but we want to do Simran before Prakash.
Right.
What time are they going to do Simran? Well, Sangat getting there.
What time they're going to have a bath, right?
3 a.m. they get to the Divan and start doing Simran. Then Maharaj for 4 baje out there, and then at 4 o'clock the Divan's full. By the second day, I think 90% of the camp was there at 4 a.m. in the morning. And this is about pushing people. And on the last day, we do go around and say, come last day, come on, let's go and get up. But it's amazing that you find so many empty beds. Because everyone's up and going. Because it's that one, when you're sitting around people, you know your mate's getting up and going, or your friends going,
boosted,
your mom,
aren't
your
you?
sister's going. It's that. And you're saying, I want to go and experience this. And that experience at Amrit Vela, it's totally different from any other experience you see. When Maharaj comes from Sachkhand, when you witness Maharaj arriving in that royal way, because you can see from some of the videos playing on the screen as well, Maharaj arriving in that royal way, Sangat standing there waiting, doing Simran, singing Shabas, throwing flowers, Nagara, Amrit Vela, Nagaras playing, Sangs playing. It's just that amazing.
So it's just the right atmosphere to absorb Sikhi, and then throughout the day with the talks to understand Sikhi further.
I think what the different thing we have in our camp, it is rampacked with knowledge. Yeah. So if someone's going to pay to come to a camp, you want to make sure they benefit and they take away something amazing. And sometimes we say overload of information, but that information is there for them.
Well, they've got 360 days to not have any information, and then 5 days of the year is not much.
And the videos go up afterwards as well. They can absorb that after as well. But we call it the carousel of talks. So each person at the camp would have 6 talks. Okay. 6 talks, 6 lectures.
9 now.
So now this year we've extended it to 9, as I've just been told, because we have lectures. What we have is then we have you have 2 lectures in the morning over the 3 days. So there's 6 bodies.
So you'll have the Amrit Vela, then breakfast.
Amrit Vela, then a rest. That's something we
do let people sleep.
We do let people sleep.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do. It's nice. Couple of hours rest, or if you want to stay in Divan, or you want to just have some time.
What time breakfast then?
9 o'clock.
Okay, cool.
9 o'clock.
So that's changed from the year that I used to be there. Okay.
Yeah, so 7 to 9 is a rest time or silent time in Divan, or just your own time. If you want to rest, you rest. If you want to, whatever. 9 o'clock breakfast. 10 o'clock your first talk of the carousel starts. 10 to 11, 11 to 12 the next one. Yeah. 12 o'clock lunch, because we feed you as well, and we do. 12 to 1 lunch. Then the activities start, and even in the activities, one activity that's just become prevalent without any
the Q&As on
the Q&A. Right? Yeah, it just used to be you know, some of the Singhs would go up to a pracharak, or the Sangat would go up to a pracharak and say, I've got a quick question. And the pracharak would just sit down, and then other people would come, and then that's it. And that's just become a thing.
It's amazing that, you know, we'll probably talk about the cost later, but it's for families as well. Now I know I go, and there's other families that go. We have a kids camp running alongside.
Okay, so you have parallel adults and children's camps.
Want to go to the talks, they go to the talks, and we look after the kids, and we do a mini camp for the kids that are there. So the kids can take something away, the secure, and the parents haven't got a distraction as well.
Last year's kids camp, they had their talks, but they also, in one of their talks, they learnt a shabd. The whole camp learnt a shabd. And they sat in the bar, they sat in the bar, and it's on our social media. They sang the shabd, the whole sangat. All the, about 40
in terms of, you'd say that you cater for, from a young age, in terms of you've got a creche for children, then obviously the adults as well?
Look, there's family bonding there as well, Hannah. Because one thing we've talked about, we take our kids, other people take kids, and there's something you can learn from every age group that's at camp. There's the kids that will learn from each other, from the talkers there, yeah? And then the parents will learn something. And then teenagers will learn something from the older generation.
Yeah.
But the one, I think, parallel point here is, you know, in the afternoon, how amazing it is when the families go away to do activities together.
Yeah.
It's bonding time for them. I just get to ask, they do rock climbing, they'll do canoeing as a family, and we let them do that. It's not like your set groups, that's your group, you're going to that. You get to choose what activity you want to do. If you want to go Q&A, there's Q&A, Joe. If you want to do some calligraphy writing, do that. If you want to do rock climbing, you do that. And this is all within the price. You get to do a 5-day holiday.
Yeah.
That's what
it is like a holiday. Rock climbing, canoeing, all sorts, water sports, right?
Yeah, we give you a bed, we give you food.
We give you a bed.
Transportate you good, we give you beds.
We give you a lot of food. We give you physical activities, stuff like canoeing, rock climbing, stuff like that will cost you £100 a day, just on its own. And with the camp costs £175 for an adult. Anyone over 16 is £175. And there's separate prices for age groups. So younger kids, it doesn't mean that a kid that's 10 years old is going to pay £175. So if anyone wanted to come with a family, they can contact us by email or by one of the phone numbers on the posters. We'll get the email. The email on the screen. If you can get that on the screen, or it's on the promo.
The form's got a family aspect in it now. So if you're coming in a family, once you fill out the form, and we have made it easier this year, you fill out the form and it'll say, do you want to add a child, or do you want to add another adult? So it's all in one place, so you don't have to do.
And it also tells you, works out the price for you, how much for the kids it will be. We do try to make it as affordable for anybody, but as you know, costs and stuff like that are going up. But if you imagine, if we were going to take a family holiday somewhere, you're spending a couple of £1,000.
It's 5 days, right?
This is £175 for a 5-day
holiday. It's £175
for a 5-day retreat where you learn, you get closer to the Guru, and if as a family you bond. But with the larger family of our Panth, we get to learn how to live.
I mean, so is this just predominantly, let's say, UK based Sangat, or do you have international?
No, we've had people from Canada, Norway.
That's one from Poland today.
Poland.
Is it predominantly, Punjabis, let's say, or do you have people who,
there have been other,
who aren't Sikh, let's say?
there have been other non-Sikhs that have attended in the past. This year, like I was saying, that we've had another non-Sikh attend for this camp. I'm going to finish, because I know we've got to wrap up, but we're talking about, there's one thing, inspirational stories. And this kind of, and you'll understand this as well, having done Seva with us before and still doing Seva. A few years ago, Bob was keen to stop camp, because it is, how much
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work,
and it's not only camp; it's throughout the year.
Yeah,
so
it starts
not
straight away.
One event for you guys.
And what
camp
happened?
Never finishes, right? Is what
no,
we
it doesn't. It doesn't. Literally, this one's going to finish, and we're going to start next year. So we, Bob was ready to finish it, but as you know, we do feedback forms to see how we can improve.
Yes.
I can't remember the year, but this is the year, and Bob's saying in the year coming up, we're not doing camp. We read the feedback, and that year, one of our Prajaraks unfortunately had to drop out, and we were asked to run a talk. And we said this in the talk, because this is the truth. On one of the feedback forms, a person had written, I'd had enough of life.
I remember this form.
Yeah.
I remember this form. I knew you were going to say this.
I'd had enough of life, and I was going to end it.
Yeah, that's exactly what
And
they
I
did.
came to camp, and I realised that camp, and this is in some clip. This is really, cutting it out.
It was in depth.
Yeah,
The form
that's
was in depth.
that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying in
Yeah.
minutia that the person said, I was going to end my life, but I came to camp, and I realised at camp that Maharaj is there for me, Sangat is there for me,
Well, camp
Maharaj is there
changes
for me,
lives.
and I'm still here today. When we said this in the talk,
Yeah.
this person who wrote it, came up to me at the end and said, "You actually read my feedback."
It's a big
And all I
thing.
could say was thank you, because
Yeah.
that really kind of emphasised to us that, like you said earlier, this isn't for us.
No, you can see you're
This is for
making
Sangat.
changes, right? You're helping people on their journey.
I hope so.
No, you are, definitely. Right, so we are going to be towards the end of this show, unfortunately. I would have wanted a bit longer, but everyone's got commitments, right? Seva never finishes. What would you want to say as your last remarks to the viewer? Why should they come to camp? And when is camp? And just let's wrap it up within the next minute or so.
Camp is 28th of May to the 1st of June.
Mhm.
They fill out the form on www.seektoinspire.org/camp/apply, or go to our social medias, and it's all there. If you want to find out more, again, get in touch on one of the numbers on the poster, on the social media. And my final thing would be, take that step. Take the step toward, Bhai Gurdas Ji tells us, take one step towards your Guru and they'll take thousands towards you. This is your opportunity to move away from the hubbub of life and actually just spend time in Sangat, spend time doing Seva, and make that change.
I was going to say a few words. It's just if we look at how the Sangat at this time is really mobilizing, really getting behind what stuff's happening in Punjab about identity.
Yeah.
We're looking at how other people see us and how they're trying to maybe dismiss the way of life, the way we look, and just talk about Amritpal Singh in Punjab, taking people out of Nashe, but the biggest thing is Saroop, joining back to your Guru and who we are. But to find that journey, sometimes people need help. They need that access point to say, "Main kithe jawa," to learn, to get on this journey. Where can I find the support? Places like camps disconnect you from the society to show you how to connect with the Guru. And if we want to stand up to the tyrants or people trying to dismiss our way of life and our Sikhi, the best way is follow the Guru's path. And the Guru's path will lead you to salvation, to a better life, to a life where you would not just be selfish but help others. And Sikhi, that's what Sikhi teaches. So from a young age, I'm going back to the start, we were taught that if we want to save ourselves, je baani nahi par hundi hai, simran nahi karna, seva kar lo. It's a balance though.
And camp
It's
gives
a balance.
gives
It's a
you an
balance. We have to
opportunity.
find that balance with all three of those things. We are trying to do a kind of seva, but sada vi jeevan will get clear. But hopefully our Sangat gets wider, stronger, that we can stand up as a panth and make a difference. And places like camps, especially Seek to Inspire camp, because we're here representing Seek to Inspire camp. If we want to show support by coming home, that's the main message, that by Amritpal Singh, Ghar mur ke aao, Amrit choko, Gursikh mano. Let's find those places that promote that and help us on that journey. And Seek to Inspire camp is one of those places. So apply, go online, fill in the forms, and hopefully we see you at Seek to Inspire camp this year from the 28th of May to the 1st of June.
Right, so from myself, from Punjab Broadcasting Channel, just like to thank you guys, Seek to Inspire as an organisation, for the brilliant stuff that you've done over the years, and it's an appeal from Seek to Inspire really for everyone to attend the camp this year, connect to your identity, right? Because there are many of us that are having an identity crisis, and we need support. So from Seek to Inspire, it's a benti. Please apply. The camp again is from the 28th to the 1st, 28th of May to the 1st of June. 5 days, 4 nights. Adults and children welcome. And this is going to be the end of the show. So thank you for watching. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.